Hey guys, breaking news with the tariffs. So Trump and the Trump administration have put all tariffs, reciprocal tariffs are off the table. They're paused for 90 days and all tariffs are going down to 10% for all countries except China. And I knew this was going to happen. You've seen the video I created before. I knew this, and I've spoke to this in a few communities. I mean, China and USA seem content to go to battle. So that was always the concerning thing. I could see a lot of other countries wanting to negotiate, willing to negotiate, maybe some counter tariffs. Even the EU planned on putting counter tariffs on. But I think they got lucky in that China came up so hard against the US that America would want to do deals. They want to get some deals across the line, because if they got no deals across the line, things would start to look very bad for them, and obviously it's extremely bad for the economy. So the fact that China came up so hard against USA, I think boded well for all of the other countries. You know, the EU, Vietnam's, Indonesia's, all of these. Now we've got a case where USA will be negotiating individually. Up until now, it's been a blanket approach, which has led to volatility. It's led to countries getting maybe hit unfairly in some cases, some very fairly too. But now that it's going down to individual country-to-country negotiations, tariffs are down to 10% in the meantime for the next 90 days. The markets like it. Markets are up 50 and 20%. This is very positive, very good, and I'm very glad to see it. Now, I would expect that you can see as well, interestingly, you can see Trump still giving the kind of the respect, the credit to President Xi. Now, the reason he's doing that is because in Asia, respect is so important. You know, and they've butted heads, China and America have butted heads, but he wants to leave the door open. He wants them to come to the table. But the key thing is he wants them to come to the table first. In negotiation and in sales, for them to come to the table first means that the leverage is with USA. The leverage is with the Americans. Now, if America put a lot of tariffs on and counter tariffs and done a big talk, and then they went to the table first, that wouldn't reflect well, because it means that they want the deal more than China wants the deal. And with negotiations, it's usually who wants it less, quite simply. Who can put up with more, who can do without. These are the people with leverage, so it's a bit of a showmanship at the moment. Hey bro, just to interrupt for 2 seconds, if you were enjoying the video, drop me a subscribe. Now back to the game. But ultimately, I don't think that's good. You know, I have many people, friends, I have many clients, and obviously I know of how big China is as a supply chain. People sourcing out of China, and I hope for their sake that the tariffs come down. I hope for their sake that the cooler heads prevail. And I do think, despite the volatility in the markets the past couple of weeks, Trump is a fair negotiator. Or at the very least, he's willing to negotiate in good faith, you know, despite the brash talk and stuff like that. This is a guy that does deals for a living. So he will negotiate, he will talk, they will work something out, but it's going to require China maybe swallowing their pride, which is difficult because they've come out so strongly against them. So respect and honour is very big in Asia, and I'm not sure that they will be able to kind of walk back the earlier counter tariffs that they put on the USA. Maybe a mistake, but let's see. But ultimately, look, tariffs paused 90 days, very positive for most countries, or all except China. And individual negotiations now means that the chance of things blowing up, or the chance of overreactions in a one-to-one situation, is a lot lower than in a group situation or a blanket situation, which we've seen over the last couple of weeks. So very positive. I think that there's one disconnect that I do see in people. The people that believe that the Trump administration are crazy still have a degree of uncertainty towards it, but they're not crazy. They might not get everything perfectly right, you know, but they definitely care about the market. They definitely care about the economy, and I don't think they will waste this opportunity after talking about getting deals done to not get deals done. You know, I'm buoyed more so by the fact that Scott Bessant says that it was a negotiation tactic as opposed to anything else, which means, unlike Peter Navarro, where they want it to be a more permanent solution, it means that this isn't a new approach. This isn't something that will be permanent, the tariffs. So I'm buoyed by that, and I think this means that the tariffs on the rest of the world have a very strong possibility that they will not go back on those high tariffs. A very strong possibility. But let's see, because ultimately you've got to get deals over the line. But I'm very optimistic now that we can get some deals over the line. That international trade and e-commerce as a whole can get somewhat back to business. And I think everyone kind of gets what they want out of it. America corrects many of the trade imbalances or deals that they've been unfairly treated. and the rest of us can get back to some certainty with the economy and some certainty with trade. So I hope this helps.